Welcome, degenerates. Are you the type of person to see the latest prop firm sale and immediately pounce on the sale no matter what because it seems like a good deal? Dude, it's 90% off. What do you mean? Good deal. Of course it's a freaking good deal. 90% off. It's practically giving out funded accounts. Or have you just simply never thought about the idea or the concept of breaking even with a prop firm? Because it's essentially legalized form of gambling at the end of the day. But why would we have to worry about breaking even? Because we're going to make so much money, right? We're going to pass the account. It's going to be easy. We're going to make so much. Who cares what the fee is? I don't give a crap what the startup fee is. I'm going to make so much. I'm going to have an active income stream. It's going to be amazing. Well, today I am going to give you a quick and easy way to calculate the break-even phase, or how long it will take you to break even on the next prop firm account that you buy. I did this exact calculation and exercise a couple hours ago, and I thought it would be a really good idea for a video, so I figured let's talk about it right now because it's going to save you a lot of time and potentially a lot of money. And when I say time, because when we calculate this out, I did this for 3 specific prop firms or 3 specific different types of accounts. And the amount of time it would take to break even on the different accounts, like a 1 phase, a 2 phase, and there was like an instant, it was completely and vastly different. So it actually makes a big difference to just take a few minutes and calculate this, because if you don't, you're not really doing yourself any favors. But please, if you are so confident and you are so good, don't bother, because you're just going to make so much money anyway. So go watch a different video, or I guess why are you even here? Go trade. But before we do this calculation, we have to understand a couple of things. These are actually very important. The first thing, this is a business, and the game is us versus them. Us being the traders, them being the prop firms. They make money when we lose money, when we don't make money trading. That's how it works. They are preying upon that. 90% of people, on average, fail when it comes to picking stocks or doing their own trades actively, etc. That's what we kind of see. We hear that all the time. In the prop firm world, I guarantee you it is substantially worse in terms of the odds than that. I would argue you're looking at 95, 97, 98, potentially, or even more percent of accounts that are purchased fail at some point in, let's say, I don't know, a year. That is probably where we're looking at here. I don't have the data myself. I don't own a prop firm. I don't have insight into the back end of this stuff. But if you do have insight into the back end, and you own a prop firm, I'm sure you're like salivating because you know and you see these numbers and you're like, oh my God, like we have an absolute money printer as long as we know how to operate this and take care of it.
Okay, as I was editing this video, this is an incredible opportunity, I still think, in the prop firm space. Create something that actually caters to traders. Don't say you cater to traders and then say, oh no, you can't swing trade. Oh no, you can't trade these assets. Oh no, you can't trade this. You can't do that. You can't, fuck you. Fuck, I don't actually cater to someone. And if they make money and it was an accident, let them keep the fucking profits. Because if I made money by accident on my own account, I would keep the profits. Chances are I'm going to lose it, but let them keep the money. For the traders who are really good, just copy their fucking trades. Like, you have the data. Copy their trades. Attach a trade copier, copy their trades, and boom, we're good to go. Or say, okay, we can't do 100% payouts because if we do, we wouldn't be able to pay you. We can do 85, we can do 90. So we cover ourselves a bit for those of you who make a lot of money. And then just copy the successful guys' trades who have the biggest track record with you. So you hedge the people who are losing you money, and you make money on the 98% who fucking fail. I just don't see, there's more behind it. I get it. Someone can maybe clue me in the comments. I just don't see why it's so bad these days, and they make it so much more challenging than just trading your own account would be.
So I guess you can say, what's the point? Well, for the few people who do fall into that couple percent that can make it, I think this could be a very important foundational piece to making it. Once you understand the rules of the game or know what the game is, and realize it, just take a step back and think, okay, if you want to play by these rules, that's fine. Let me adjust my strategy. And that's what we're doing. That's really all we're doing here, so that we don't have a higher chance of hitting the drawdowns or hitting whatever would take us out of the account faster or by accident when we didn't need to do that. I want to also ask you, what is your intent? Is your intent quick money? Like you want to get an account. There's even some prop firms nowadays that are offering instant funding. So you don't have to go through the challenge phase and phase 1 and 2. It's like instantly it's yours, except there's some rules. Or are you trying to build this up or be here for the long haul? Like, do you want this account to be able to cash flow for you, your family, for yourself, for a long period of time, weeks, months, years down the road? Are you going to utilize this to potentially build your own account and leave the prop firm space, which I think where most people probably are, or at least I think should be looking, but there are still perks of the prop firm space until you have enough money. At least that's in my view. All right, so now it's time to break out the calculators. And I just wrote all of this out on my iPad, so I'm going to walk you through step by step. Now, we are going to talk about a prop firm. Let's call them XYZ. It could be anyone, Top Step, this guy, that guy, whoever over here. Doesn't matter, because anytime you mention a prop firm, you're going to have people who say, I can't believe you mentioned that name. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. I guess it is relevant because some of them are going to scam you and take your money and you're never going to hear from them again. It has happened. It will continue to happen. Hopefully, we can do our research on our own and find the best one with the best reputation, the best consistent payouts that will be best for us. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so prop firm XYZ just launched a one-phase $100,000 account audition. It costs $500, and the objective is to make 10% before you lose 8%, and the max daily drawdown is 3%. So the numbers are as follows. We have to make $10,000 before we lose $8,000, and we cannot lose more than $3,000 in a given day. Now, I guess the daily drawdown could be different, or it could be a little bit different if we lose some money, make some money, but roughly speaking, it's $3,000 in a given day. I do not believe that should be a concern unless you are over trading, a super high frequency trader, and those people right there are probably not going to be consistent anyway. Not counting you out, it can be done. It's certainly possible. It's not impossible, but we probably shouldn't have to worry about the daily drawdown anyway, because what I'm going to talk about next. Before you say, okay, dude, well, how long will it take? It's not that simple, because we do need a couple of stats. The first is the average trade expectancy. This is something that, for example, TradeZella will give you on your home dashboard. If you have a tracking service like them, I'll leave them linked down below as a resource, like I always do on all my videos. But you need to know your average trade expectancy. Now, if you don't know that number, okay, we can find it. We have to do a couple calculations. You also may not know that number because your sizing may be different. Maybe you're used to trading $200,000, or you're used to trading with $10,000 or $50K. But now we're trading with $100K, so we're like not exactly sure what our sizing should be. Well, let's talk about a way to approach this that I think is a very logical way that will be catering to you and your trading stats, so you can identify how long it will take you specifically to break even on the $500 entry fee or audition fee for this account. The most important number here is our max drawdown, because we have an $8,000 max drawdown. And the way I approach this is I go back into my trading data on TradeZella and I go, okay, what is the worst losing streak I have ever had? Like, what's the worst case scenario? It might say 8 trades in a row. It might say 9 trades in a row. I usually will take my worst period or my worst stat. As of now, I think it's around that ballpark for me. And then I'll add 1 just to be safe. So let's say that my worst losing streak was 9 in a row. Now, did I lose full, on all those? No, maybe there was a break even in there or 2, but I lost 9 trades without winning 1, essentially. I'm going to round up to 10 so that now I know, worst case scenario, I am going to size myself so that if I happen to lose 10 in a row, I can still have my account. On the 11th trade, I will have to have a winner. If I have 11 losers in a row, all right, I lose the account. I'm either doing something wrong, I'm either over trading, something's off in my system and strategy, or whatever, or I am just getting so unlucky. And that's possible, but chances of that happening are fairly low. So I take $8,000 divided by my worst case scenario max losing streak in terms of trades in a row, 10. That gets me to $800. That means I am not going to risk more than $800 per trade. Now let's calculate our average reward to risk ratio. I'm going to estimate 1.5 for this number, which means that my winners would be 1.5 times my loser on average. You'll again have these stats if you track your trades. But if you don't, great time to start. So take that ratio of your average winner divided by your average loser, whatever it is. It could be a decimal of like 0.9. It just means you're going to have a higher win rate. Or if it's 1.5, 1.4, whatever it is, save that number. Now we ask, what is your average win rate? I am going to estimate 50% to make the calculation easier, but this can be vastly different for, let's say, me or you or anybody who's watching this. You could have a 70% win rate. I think that's pretty unlikely, but you could. Over a small sample size, I'd recommend a bigger sample size, lots of trades. You might be 60, you might be 40, you might be 30, you might be 25. You can be profitable at those levels. You just have to make more on your winners if you're well below 50%. Let's say that we have a 50% average win rate. Now, doing the math here, a 1.5 average reward to risk ratio and a 50% win rate is pretty darn good. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, that's common, that's obvious, that's easy. Most people will not be able to do that. Their numbers will be tighter. It might be 1.25 on their ratio, and they might have a 45% win rate or a 50% win rate. It might be in that ballpark. Just don't assume that like, oh my God, because my stats don't match up, they're not as good, this can't work for me. It absolutely can. It just will take you a bit longer. Not to mention you're always improving and trying to get better, so it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to estimate 50%, meaning that I lose every other trade. On average, again, could have 10 in a row that I lose, but I lose every other trade on average, or it boils down to every other trade. Every 2 trades, I have one winner, one loser. Now, after 2 trades, we have an $800 loss on average, and $800 times 1.5, our ratio, now gives us our average winner. So we have a loss of 800, and then we have a winner of 1,200, meaning we are netting, after 2 trades, we are netting $400 in profit. Now that is 2 trades, so divide 400 by 2 to get your average trade expectancy for 1 trade. That comes out to be $200 on average. Now multiply that by your trade frequency per month or per week if you want to go that route. I prefer per month because I think it's, well, for me, I'm more of a swing trader nowadays, so per month makes more sense because I don't know how many trades I'm going to have in a given week. But multiply it by your trade frequency, either month or week, and that will be utilized in your calculation next. I'm going to estimate that this person takes 15 trades per month. That's a couple a week. Maybe you don't trade every single day. You add in a couple holidays in a given month, or you have a couple days off, or you don't like to trade on Mondays or Fridays because your data tells you that you're not good on those days, so you don't trade those days, and whatever. And then you have 15 trades in a given month on average. You take 15 trades per month, multiplied by your average trade expectancy of $200. Now you have $3,000 per month in profits on average. You're going to have red months, I'm sure. You're going to have amazing green months. And you're going to have some average months. Actually, you may not have any months at 3,000 exactly or close to it. You might have a wide variety, but this is why we talk about the bigger picture, larger sample size tracking our trades. These are averages. Now we take our $10,000 profit target to pass the audition. We divide that by $3,000 per month. If it was per week for you, you can divide it by per week. And now we have a 3.333 repeated, meaning 3 1/3 months. So 3.3 months just to pass our evaluation, just to make $10,000. Now we take our $500 entry fee for the audition or to buy the account initially. We divide that by $3,000 a month. That comes out to be 0.166 months. We add that many months to our 3.33 months to pass, because now we're trying to figure out how long it will take to recoup the $500 if we make $3,000 a month. And it comes out to be exactly 3.5 months to completely break even, meaning we buy the account, we trade for 3.5 months, we pass in that period, and then on average, we have in the next couple of days, we have enough trades to then make back the entry fee in 3.5 months total. So in this scenario, it would take you 3.5 months to fully break even. That probably comes out to be a number a lot longer than you want. That's what I tend to find. But if you go at it this way, you are approaching the game logically and with pretty solid risk management that based off your prior data, and the longer you have built up data going into this, the better these numbers are going to be, because you're going to have even better averages over bigger sample sizes. You're going to have really good confidence in trading with this prop firm. And over time, it might take longer than maybe I want if I don't think about the numbers, but I'm going to manage my risk properly. I'm going to have a very low chance of hitting daily drawdown. I'm going to have a very low chance of hitting the max drawdown unless my system unravels. And now I'm going to be good in 3.5 months to recoup my money. And then from then on, it's all positive. It's all cash flow from there. I hope that made some sense. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.